What's up out there, everybody? Thanks for tuning into your Soul Mapping Astro Weather Report for Wednesday, January 16th, 2018. I'm Aeon, and the Astro Weather Report is where I synthesize aspects of astrology, the I Ching, human design, gene keys, and a little bit of Akashic intuitive wisdom to give you a better idea of some of the energies that will be at play today from the genetic all the way on up to the cosmic levels. Well, yesterday I had to take the day off. It's such an intense morning for me, doing a lot of cleansing and detoxing and stuff like that right now, and just kind of been going through these fluctuating energy levels and not feeling so great, and then, feeling really excellent. And it was just a little too much for me yesterday. But now I'm back, and definitely a great day to be back. We got a lot of big movements going on, a lot of powerful aspects, and just going to go ahead and jump over here into the charts and start getting into it for you all. Um, for starters, big conjunction we have here between the Sun and the South Node, which of course means the Earth is up here conjunct the North Node. And yeah, I think, definitely right now we really start to come to accept certain limitations that we have. That we're meeting in society, meeting about ourselves, the structures, boundaries we're moving up against. And this is important. In order to move forward, we have to accept that there are certain limitations and we have to work within those things. And we're kind of really diving deep right now in ways we can use those limitations in order to write and create new stories and to create something that's going to be more secure, more comfortable, something that we feel better about, we can trust and rely on. This is like give a good example of this. It's like if I want to go buy a house, right, there's a good chance that I may have to get a loan in order to get that house. Most people nowadays can't just pay cash for the house, or maybe it's just a car, whatever it is. In order to buy those things, sometimes we need loans, or there's different paperwork that we have to fill out. And most of the time, that's just the way that it is. So if you've accepted, well, in order to get this house, I have to get this loan, then you have to go to the bank, you have to fill out the paperwork, there's credit checks, a lot of different things involved. And this is like what it is like, okay, I've accepted those limitations. Now, what do I have to do to get the loan? Okay, well, I pull up all these pieces of information about myself and figure that out. And I just have to go get it done in order to create that security that I want in that new house and that new environment. Jupiter is squaring Neptune right now. This square's very close, basically exact at this time, and Jupiter's over here on the 5.4, Neptune's still on 63.4, and we're looking, I think we're looking a lot into ways that the past can now play an important part in manifesting these dreams that we want and that we wish to discover. And of course, this comes with growing pains. We want to still be suspicious into these things. Again, to kind of go back to this house example, it's like, if the house seems too good to be true, look into it more. Look at the foundation. Realize that, maybe the loans seem to come really easy. Look into the interest rates that are involved in it. Do the research and see how it all fits right into the rhythms. Is it going to take 6 months, or are the paperwork going to be done in the next 3 weeks? And it's important because it takes time to move and create these transitions and these things that we want in our lives. Uh, Venus is coming into this close to exact trine with Mars. It's about a degree and a half away. Venus over here in Sagittarius, pulling up on 10 degrees where it will be in its exact trine with Mars. And Venus is on the 9.5, Mars on the 21.2. And I think we're just kind of naturally developing solutions to gain more authority and control over our environment, our resources, working on our passions, gaining more authority and control in our relationships. The moon is making its way through Taurus. At the end of the day, it's going to be coming into Gemini, but before it does, it's going to be making a trine with the sun. The moon's going to be on the 8.1 trining the sun in the 60.1. So looking into these limitations so that we can kind of craft and write this new story and go in this new direction. And in order to transcend these limits, I think we're finding right now we could need to share and contribute. And there's going to be like a style and a flair present in this information as we create this new structure for ourselves. This is kind of like, this new journey that we're going on. Maybe we can look at this kind of like writing a new story or a new book, right? And when we define that story, when we decide, okay, this is the story that I'm going to choose, this is the path that we're going to go on, that story needs a certain kind of flair and a style to it, right? Like we want to present people with information. There's it's just like putting on new clothes in order to kind of like convey a certain image that we have about ourselves. And I think we're really looking into that right now. The moon, of course, is coming into a trine with Pluto. It's kind of similar story here as we have these deep realizations and inspirations about our truth coming in, about our personal power. We're looking at ways that we can kind of like carefully articulate those in a very unique ways, because in order to share truths, we want to articulate them in this way where we kind of just get to the quintessence of the information. That's important when we're sharing truth if we want to contribute and really kind of like create a new structure, write a new story. The moon is going to be sextiling as well the north node um, over here in Cancer. In the moon, this is more about choosing this kind of path and this unique style to the story, or being able to create that comfort that we want. We have Pallas Athene, which is over here in Libra, and this is making a T-square right now to both the north and south nodes, and Pallas Athene on the 32.1. A lot of wisdom right now in making certain decisions about what to conserve, what to preserve, as we bring our relationships into greater balance. A lot of wisdom right now is to redefining certain structures and creating more comfort in those relationships and those reflections that are coming in. We're learning where we want to make some certain choices today, and these could be tough choices. Ceres is over here in over here in Scorpio, and this is making a trine to the north node and a sextile to the south node. Ceres on the 14.1. We always need more money when we want to fuel certain new directions or where we're going to create more comfort, but money isn't always everything. I think right now we're realizing that we can evolve beyond these certain limitations without just needing money. We can get creative, and there are deep other kinds of creative resources that we can pull on to create these new stories about ourselves. And finally, later in the day, the moon's going to be moving into Gemini. So we're approaching this full moon coming up here. This is a lot of changing movements, activities, connections, communications coming in and coming up as things start to liven up as we get closer to this full moon. I think this is a lot about certain choices that we're going to be making as new information comes in as well. Lastly, I'm going to be drawing a card to see what's the overarching energy that we can expect for today, and what can we tune into to help us navigate some of these powerful transits as we get into this eclipse coming up very shortly here. And gate 58, the joyous and aliveness. This is all about finding bliss in these things that we're doing. This is also can be about dissatisfaction, kind of creating and correcting these patterns on a deep level. And I think this is a very adrenal energy. So this is about finding a bliss in this work that we're getting done, and really investigating and creating these new structures and coming up with this definition and writing this new story. So hope this has been helpful for you. As always, tap into your innermost authority, see if it feels right for you. And thanks for tuning into the Astral Weather Report.